Hello and welcome to Sensei podcast. This is Manos Brilakis discussing with leaders in the field of CTO and complex PCI. Sensei means teacher or master in Japanese. The goal of the Sensei podcast is to help you learn and improve in CTO and complex PCI so that you can become the best that you can be and offer your patients the best possible results.
Well, I can tell the story that I decided to go to interventional cardiologist at my third year of medical school. I had a teacher who was an interventional cardiologist, and he asked us to follow him to a procedure, and in the end, it was balloon mitral valvuloplasty in a pregnant woman. And he just did it. It was awesome. My first time in a cath lab, and he could manage to make the valvuloplasty and saved both the mother and the baby. So I was amazed about it, and I decided I want to do this. And that was my first time and to get in touch with interventional cardiology. And I did after my med school. I went to São Paulo and did my training in São Paulo at Dante Pazanese, which is a big institution in Latin America. We have Dr. Souza as head of interventional cardiology, and he is a pioneer. Everyone knows this.
Mm-hmm.
And I had all my clinical cardiology training, and also interventional cardiology training at Dante Pazanese. And after my fellowship, I went back to the Northeast of Brazil. Here in Maceio, I was invited to join the team here and be part of the interventional cardiology team. And I started from scratches. I was mainly, I didn't have a dedicated training for complex PCI in Dante Pazanese. We didn't have a specific training for complex procedures. We could join some procedures, complex ones, but not a dedicated program. So I have to learn for myself. I can say I'm a self-learner, and I did my best to start on the complex coronary cases. So
that's great. And it's many people have in the same boat as you are. They haven't had the opportunity to get specialized training into complex stuff, and many people try to learn the same way. So did you learn through books, through meetings,
yes,
through the web? How did you actually learn?
Yes, I can say it's a mix of them. I learned from many books, which your book was on the mailing fundamentals to improve my skills. I read your book. I watch a lot of live cases. I read from Dr. Winfrey book, Dr. James Pratt book, and also I had some peers, some colleagues in Brazil that were learning at the same time, so we could grow together. We could share experience from each other. We could scrubbing cases in different labs. We travel to the other sites to join cases together. And that's how we started the CTO club meeting. It was, in the beginning, was just a very small meeting with colleagues, and we selected some cases to scrub in together. So that's how we started in 2015, 2016. It was maybe the year I started doing more complex cases.
And then how did you actually deal with issues? Let's say you had difficulty in a case and you haven't seen something before. Did you call someone? Did you just try to troubleshoot it? What do you do in those cases?
To be honest, I try to troubleshooting. Always being humble, to not not screw things up, to know when to stop and think another strategy, and try to bring the patient in another day with a more clear strategy. But mainly, I try to troubleshooting by myself. I love to see complication cases. I think they are the most educational ones, and I try to read a lot about how to deal with complications so I can prevent them. Maybe this is a good point.
Wonderful. So, Evandro, how do you plan for your procedures? How much time do you take? How do you look at the angiogram? How do you deal with this?
Yes, this is a very good question, Manos. I think that for CTO procedures, planning is everything. I try to read the angiograms many times in different time periods. When I go proctoring, sometimes we don't have that time to see all the examinations, CTs and angiograms. But when I join the case, I try to sit with the colleague and we read the angio um, frame by frame. We take some 15, 20 minutes. And also I try to open the CT scan if it's available. And we can work with the images, do the reconstructions, and with all this information, we can have a good plan for the case. So that's how we do.
So I'm fascinated because not many people are looking at the CT for CTO.
We do,
Is that
we do,
something?
we do always.
Is that something you learned on the job? You were trained in training. How did you get to use
I
this?
I learned on the job. I always try to sit with more expert colleagues and try to develop my skills to learn CT scans. So I didn't have a specific training. I learned by myself also, and I bought some softwares to work with the CT. So this is I think this is an important step to have a successful procedure.
So curious, which software did you use? Which software did you get?
I'm mainly using Osiris, which have the basics, MEPR and basic CT views, not a specific coronary platform, but that's all I need. It's enough.
Perfect. And this is another big part because many people don't have access to specialized software
Yeah.
everywhere in the US and other countries as well. So having some other software that is easier to get can give you an answer and be able to see most of the things.
Yes, perfect. That's how I think on CTOs we are we are walking in the way like tavers, so we can have good information about anatomy and histology of CTOs, so we can see ahead calcium, the need for calcium modification tools for more stiff wires. We can in some cases see collaterals. We can see proximal cap. We can clear proximal cap, and so I think this is very important tool, even in the safety of the procedure. I think it can add safety to the procedure.
Wonderful. Do you get stressed out? Do you get anxious or nervous during a case?
Yes, I get it. But I think now it's a good anxious, so it makes me more sharp and keeps my mind very focused. So this is a good anxious. I think if you don't have it, then maybe you should not join the case. But I can say I'm still anxious for some complex case.
Wonderful. And then if something goes wrong, fails or complication, how do you recover from this? Do you get depressed?
Yes, I get the press, but we have to move forward. We are trying to do our best. I think the CTO case starts from a good conversation with the patient, with the family. We have to align expectations about risks and benefits and what we can improve um, for the patient. And I always tell that to the patients. They came in the lab laughing, talking to me, so they should go away in the same way, not worse than they came. So I always tell them that sometimes we cannot open the artery. Sometimes you have to try a second time in a different time. And I always try to prepare the patient to accept that the artery could not be opened at that session. And I want deeply not to have a complication, but it can happen. And I try to explain everything. So this helped me to deal with when I have a complication. So, and it's very important. I consider to debrief after with the team, with other colleagues. Sometimes I call to other friends and share that complication. And sometimes I select the case to share on Twitter, which I think it's a great platform to exchange knowledge and to hear other opinions. Sometimes it's difficult because some people have some kind of toxicity, have some toxic comments, but I learned with time to deal with this and to hold my hands and not answer something. So this was very important to my self growth.
Yeah, and actually, we'll talk about it, but I have been very impressed. You've really taught many people great cases, great discussion on Twitter and social media. So, how did that start? Was that something you always were interested in? Did it just
No,
happen in the process, or?
I never planned for this. I joined the community for many years, and I saw that as a good opportunity to share my work. So I started sharing some cases and discussing and gathering some opinions and different strategies. So I see people enjoying the cases and real interacting with me. So I grow up in the community and I did very good friends and that's how it works. It was not intentional, but now I'm very happy that I build a good community. I have a good network. I know a lot of people from around the world, so I'm very proud of it.
Wonderful. No, congratulations again. You built a nice community. And also, I think you've taught many people findings from meetings and the latest developments and techniques. So you have been a tremendous educator. So how does, as you said, you kind of self-learned.
Yes.
How does that impact your, I guess you understand better how to transmit to other people the information?
I think so. I as a self learner, I try to learn with other experts. I went to Japan 2 times. I went to Europe and US, and I saw a lot of cases. And I didn't have a mentor, let's say a specific mentor, but many mentors, many colleagues that I mirror and I try to learn the best from them. And and I think this all helped me to teach others. I'm always proctoring around Brazil, so I consider a teacher because I try to share the knowledge I gather for this for the last years, and I think this helped me to teach better. I like to teach by example, showing look at my hands, look how I'm doing, and then you're gonna do afterwards. So I I think the whole thing helped me is to teach others. It's still challenge to teach how to do CTO PCI. It's challenge because it's a mix of techniques, but feeling. Sometimes you feel that one strategy is better than the others, and this is how you see the case. That's how you interpret the case. And I still think it's challenge to teach other colleagues, but I think we are doing a good job, step by step. We have a good program with Boston Scientific in Latin America, trying to educate colleagues in complex coronary intervention. So I'm very humble. I'm very humble and honored to be part of this.
Wonderful. And Evandro, when you walk into a lab or you meet a new physician who wants to do complexity, etc., what are the things that make you believe that this person is going to do well?
Well, to be honest, Manos, not every physician that I go proctor want to learn. Sometimes they just want to have the case done. Let's be honest, and they want help to help his patient. But there are some real good colleagues in Brazil that are developing good skills and are trying to improve in the CTO. They want to establish a real CTO program. So we know those guys. And I think first to be humble, to learn and lower the guard and admit that CTO is a different animal, is a different thing. It's not a regular PCI. And I see some guys that really want to develop the skills and establish CTO programs, and they are very open for advice and learning. So this is an important thing.
Wonderful. Evandro, describe me your typical day. How do you spend your day? Are you in the cath lab all day? Do you work on the computer sometimes? How is your typical day?
My typical day is at the cath lab. I do office attending one period a week. So I see patients at the office, like 30 patients, but mainly for patients that I treated or I'm going to treat. So sometimes they want a second opinion and things like this. But most of the days I'm in the lab and the cat lab. I also off the cat lab for proctoring for 2 times a week. So I proctor like every week. Um, and a typical day starts at 8 a.m. and I'm doing cases in the cat lab. I can say I'm not only CTO operator. I do all the cases. I also have to do structural in Brazil. We have to do few structurals also. Not high volume, but I do TAVRs, I do PFOs, I do few peripherals eventually. And I'm not only dedicated CTO. I think these other skills and structural practices give me more. I think more confidence for also for CTOs. So I'm in kind of freestyle. I can try to do everything. I always try to learn. I learned how to coil, for example, with a colleague that is a neurointerventional, and he helped me with the coil. I joined cases with him. So that's how I learned how to coil, for example. So I think this is important to have open mind and try to learn different things.
Wonderful. Now, how many hours do you sleep?
It's about 8 hours, I can say. Maybe when I'm more anxious, less, but maybe 8 hours okay for me.
And do you do any exercise? How do you keep calm? How do you keep yourself collected and calm and in good mood?
Yes, I try to exercise. I do a bit of CrossFit, which is a mix of weightlifting and cardio. And I can admit I'm not the more frequently and more and in the gym, but I try to go to gym at least 2 or 3 times a week. I'm doing my best, and but I think this is very important. I had a period that I have a lot of neck pain, back pain, and the exercise helped me a lot to manage that. So this is very important to also to keep my weight, and I try to do CrossFit. So I think it's a very complete kind of exercise.
Wonderful. And then, do you have any favorite book or movies? Do you find time for that?
I can admit I don't have a lot of time to read books and watch movies, but I like it. I enjoy it when I can. I'm reading a book from Strength to Strength, that the guy that I watched a keynote lecture in TCT last year. So it's a very nice book. I didn't finish yet, but it talks about the when the mindset changing after 40s. I'm 43, so we in the beginning were very anxious and excited to do more cases and accumulate things in life. And now we have a different. I can say I'm shifting for a different mindset of doing less things, but more meaningful, more impactful, and in the best way I can. So one of the things that I'm trying to develop is it's emotional intelligence and build good relationships, and that's important.
Wonderful. And actually, that book you mentioned from Arthur Brooks, that's indeed a very useful book that you don't have to always be getting more and more done. Sometimes less is more. So,
Yes, yes,
something very important for people to think.
yes.
Now, how about the things you are proud of? What are you most proud of personally and professionally?
Personally, I'm proud of my 2 boys. I have two children, 2 boys. One has 10 years, or the other 8 years. So they are all for me. I always try to spend my free time with them. And professionally, I'm very proud of what I reach in the CTO field, the guild community I have built, and my friends. And as a CTO club member, I'm a co-director. We are four guys leading the CTO club. So I'm very happy to be uh, alongside them. Dr. João Tinoco, Botelho, and Breno. They are very close friends, and uh, I'm very proud for the community and the recognition that I got in Brazil and Latin America. So I'm very proud about it.
Wonderful. And congrats again. I know it's not always easy in terms of equipment, maybe, and supplies, but you clearly find ways to make the best use of what you have.
Yes, yes. I remember that I started with no dedicated microcatheters, no dedicated wires. So it was mainly Abbott wires, so like Progress and some uh, rudimentar Asahi wires like Miracle Family. So we started from the scratches and tried to adapt the best we could. And that's how we begin. That's how we began.
Wonderful. And again, clear you came a long way. If you had to say the challenges that are faced with intervention in Brazil, huge country, a lot of need, I'm sure, not as many people like yourself who can offer these complex cases. What do you think is the pathway to the future?
Manos, it's a social problem also. It involves politics. One of the biggest challenge in Brazil, I think, in CTO field is that the health system doesn't recognize that there is CTOs as a specific subset of coronary disease. And to be honest, we cannot treat a patient in the public health system with a CTO. we have to ask for the justice to reimburse the procedure and reimburse the system. It's still complicated. I think the future is to break this barrier and try to offer in in an intelligent way, in a sustainable way, to offer this kind of complex procedure for for the more poorest people. So for me, this is a big challenge in Brazil, and I'm always trying to strive with the system. So I think one day we can offer more regularly this kind of procedure to our patients.
Wonderful. And then also, what's your advice about social media? Some people don't want to touch it at all because they say it's too distracting, too many things, don't know. Obviously, you've been a master of this, very high quality material that you publish all the time. What is your advice for people who want to use this to learn?
I think social media is a very strong tool, strong educational tool, Manos. For sure, it has its downsides, some toxic people, but I can say you have I can say you have to select your community, select your network that you are interacting, and there are real good people in social media that you can have you can learn and have a good quality of knowledge shared there. Also, there are some toxic people, bad people, and also you have to know which is real good things and what are the bad things and things that you should not incorporate to yourself. So my advice is try to taste social media and try to select the right people to follow and to engage. There are a lot of good people there. I can say I'm proud that I met very nice people on social media from all the parts of the world. And I say to young doctors to have to join social media and try to engage because they definitely gonna grow with social media.
Wonderful. So, Evandro, what excites you for the future?
Manos, I think the future is bright, is bright because we have a lot of technology coming. Personally, I'm trying to get better on IVO's reentry. I'm definitely a very fan of Ives guided reentry. I think is the top notch, is the refined technique. We have a case series in Brazil. Me and Botelho, we are doing like good cases with Ives guided reentry. And I'm planning to go to Japan again to watch more cases like this. We still we still miss dedicated equipment for sure, but we are finding ways to do it with the equipment we have on the shelf. So we have like 15 cases, 20 cases already. So I'm pretty excited to refine those skills. And I'm always um, eager to get more technology and new IVO system and new wires and microcatheters. So I'm very excited for the future. Also, I believe that we're gonna have more AI for decisions and also for selecting better patients. Also, AI for image fusion. I think this is the future. So I'm very excited for what is coming.
Do you use any AI tools at this point, or is it something that is slowly becoming part?
It's still very slow. I'm very in the beginning, so I still don't have dedicated AI tools for CTOs. I use AI in my personal life for the daily job, but not still not in CTO.
Wonderful. Well, Evandro, again, congratulations, building a great program, teaching many people through all your, both physically, but also online through your social media presence. If you have to give some advice to people who are trying to learn, what would their advice be?
Learning intravascular imaging very early. I had the chance to be alongside CTO intravascular imaging guru, which is Daniel Chamier. It's now in Yale, and he's a very close friend. We spend a lot of time reading OCTs and IVOS runs, and that's a, a message that I would give to young operators. Try to improve your intravascular imaging skills. Try to learn with failures and embrace failure. This is important because this is part of the work. And seek for good mentors. Sometimes it is hard, but you have to find some people you really trust, and people that can be by your side and have and give you good advice. So that's my message for young operators.
Wonderful. Well, Evandro, again, it's been a pleasure. Great working with you over the years, and look forward to more collaboration.
Manos, I'm so happy, and thank you again for the invitation. I'm so happy to be part of the Sensei podcast, and I'm a real fan of your work, and I follow your work for many years. So you reached the summit and gave us the example of how a real teacher is. So thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Evandro. Thank you for listening to the Sensei podcast.